Hey guys, Gathering Magic back again, and this is part 2 of the Market Watch for June 22nd, 2025. So we're going to do a deep dive into the entire card market. We're going to go set by set. So starting with Alpha, these are Alpha regular foil common cards. So there are 20 cards in the set. You can see here, cheapest price currently is 40 cents. And just want to give you guys just kind of a visual so you can look and see how many cards are in circulation and then how many cards are currently on the market. Just so we have a record so we can look back on this video months and years from now and just say, remember when prices were this either high or low? Time will tell. So most expensive card currently for the common is $12.57, and that is for a single copy. So that is way out of whack. You can see this probably should be a 50 to 70 cent card. So definitely do not buy an individual card for that amount. Okay, moving on to the rares. So 20 rares in this set, along with summoners. So cheapest rare you can see is $1.10. And you can see not very many on the market, just a handful of most of these cards. Up to the most expensive is $44.10 for Medusa. Only 2 copies. So you can see one is a level 6 and then one is a level 3. So let's take a look at the Archons. So anywhere from $1.80 for Malric up to $6.45 for Tyrus. Usually Alric is the most expensive, so $3 might be kind of a deal for an alpha card. Let's go to the epics. So you've got 10 epics in the set, ranging from $4 to $52.12. And this is for a level 4. So per BCX, you're looking at about $6.50 on up. And then for your legendaries for Alpha, there were 9 legendary cards. Currently, they range from anywhere from $28.21 up to $3.75. Lord of Darkness is a card that I like to look at from time to time. I mean, there's times where this card has been at 20 bucks or just under 20. Currently, just for a single copy at 52 is a little bit high. You can see combined cards, and this is actually a little bit higher than normal, anywhere from $31 to $35 per card. So back in the times on previous Market Watch videos when this card was, 20, 22 bucks or whatever, maybe even slightly under 20, I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. So this is actually a little bit high. Okay, that's it for your regular foil alphas. Let's take a look now at the gold foil versions. So the common cards you can see here, just a few cards under $15 for the commons, all the way up to $620. All 20 cards are represented in the marketplace, but you can see some of them only have 1, 2, or 3 copies of the cards. Beautiful cards, but very, very limited. Even being a common, you can see there's only, a couple 300 of most of these in circulation. Moving to the rares. So 18 of the 20 rares are represented in the marketplace. Cheapest is $44. A lot of these single copies, up to $1,500 for the Summoner Archon Tyrus. Your epics, $250 for Defender of Truth, up to $1,400 for Swamp Thing. And then find your legendaries. So out of the 9 legendaries, 5 of them are on the market. $27.50 for the Lord of Darkness. Look at this, only 21 in existence. Spirit of the Forest, 17 in existence, 7,000. Selenia Sky, the Dragon Summoner, $11,000. 2 on the marketplace, 22 in existence. Gold Dragon, $24,000, 24 in existence, only 1 on the market. And Angel of Light, only 1 on the marketplace. There's only 13 of these cards, 30 grand. Okay, let's look now at Alpha at the promo cards. So your regular foil promos, there is 1 of each rarity. You can see here, we went through the prices on part 1. So I'll just show you the cards here. Only a single copy of Shinlo. And then for your gold foils, only 2 available. The rare for 300, 200 in circulation, and Shinlo Legendary, there's only 43 of those cards. So that is it for Alpha. So Beta, if we look at the core and reward cards, regular foil, Starting with the commons, cheapest are 6 cents, all the way up to this week. The most expensive common is the Pirate Captain, sitting at 36 cents. Only 12 of these currently on the marketplace. For your rare cards, so your rares start at 27, 28 cents are your cheapest rares. We'll take a look in a minute at the Archons. Furious Chicken is a card I like to take a look at. That's at 43 cents. And Hobgoblin. Why is this card $7? There's probably not very many on the market. Nope. And there are 4 individual copies above $7. So you can see here the ones that are max level, you're looking at a 50, maybe an 80-cent card. So definitely do not pay $7 for a Hobgoblin. Card that might be a good value, once again, Ulrich, the Archon +1 magic at only $2. Let's see how many are available at that price. So there's 3 of them in the $2 range, and then quickly jumps up to almost $7. And then you have multiple BCX copies, but they're still right around that $2, $2.50 per card. Okay, let's look at the other Archons in the set. So Zentaur's at 34 cents, Malric at 35, Tyrus at 39, Lyanna at 46, and then of course Ulrich at $2. Moving on to the epics, cheapest epic is 84 cents for the Fire Spitter. And the epics go up to, of course, your summoners are near the top of the list, and Daria is sitting at $5.40. And then your legendary cards start at $5.81 for the Kraken, up to top card now. Prince Renan has replaced Voldemort, so it seemed like Voldemort Forever was the most expensive, anywhere from $40 to $75 a card. Prince Renan's at $41.70. Lord of Darkness has come up. I've seen this card, what, 12, 15 bucks not that long ago. Now I'm sitting there at 40. What are some other good cards? Cryptmint, this card looks way too low. A legendary summoner for 11. So I think he's a pretty good deal. Plato is sitting under 12. Peak Rider's usually the least desirable. He's even at $12. Yeah, I would say Cryptmancer should be around 20 or a little bit higher. Selenius Sky at 15, that might be a little bit of a deal too. So there are some deals to be had in the marketplace. So that's it for your regular foils. So now let's look at the gold foil versions. So your commons start at just right around $2 for a gold foil common from Beta. To your most expensive is Giant Rock, surprisingly at $24.50. Okay, looking at your rares. Rares start at just under $10. Gold foil chicken at $10.90. All the way up to $115 for the cockatrice. Let's look at the Archons. So your Archons go from $14.26 up to $50 for Tyrus. Your epic cards start at just under $50 low end, up to $620 for the Manticore. And then finally your gold legendary cards, $374 for Spirit of the Forest and the Hydra, along with Korjak. That's also $374. Popular number, Cryptmancer. So this one is one of the cheapest legendaries, surprisingly, and the Kraken also at $374. Wonder if that's all the same seller. Most expensive is $5,500 for Voldemort and Prince Renan. So if these two legendary summoners are sitting at over $5,000, and you've got even Lord of Darkness at $750, how is Cryptmancer only $375? Dare I say it? I think that should be at least $800, maybe close to $1,000. Look at the print run, 48, 41, 45. So it's got basically the same print run. Not saying it's as good as, but being, a legendary Archon, you would think they'd be a little bit closer. Are you telling me that Plato is 4 times better than Cryptmancer? So something is out of whack here. Not financial advice, but just saying. Okay, so that's it for beta. Let's look at the promo cards from beta. So let's let it load the correct graphics here so you can see the cards. Okay, so you've got one of each rarity, and then you've got the two ultra rare promo cards. Went through the prices on part one just so you guys can see. Delwyn at 40 cents, up to Archmage Arius and Prince Julian, both sitting at $599 a piece. You can see the print runs here. Only 87 of Archmage Arius and only 83 Prince Julians. And then your gold foil versions, $9.92 for Delwyn, up to $5.55 for the Red Dragon. Okay, let's move on to Orb. Small set. So as you can see right here, this is the entire Orb set, 12 cards. So you got the Armorsmith and Molten Ogre at 6 cents, the Defender at 13, Goblin Chef at 27 cents, Electric Eels 28, along with the Undead Archer. Silver Shield Bard, 70 cents. Mermaid Healer, 98. Dwarven Wizard, $1.08. And then your three legendaries, Minotaur Warlord at 5.80, Lord of Fire, 6.15, and Corrupted Pegasus at 13.99. And then your gold foils, 11 of the 12 are represented. The only one that is not here in gold foil is the Mermaid Healer, one of the epics. You can see the cards and the prices here on your screen. And the amount in circulation, once again, you know, the gold foil legendaries, you know, you're basically 50 or less for these cards. So these are your original arcane cards. Okay, Untamed. Let's go to Core and Reward. So your commons start, of course, at 1 cent. All the way up to most expensive, as you can see, 17 cents for the Failed Summoner, 19 cents for the Maggots, and then it jumps up to 74 cents for the Spy. Love the Serpentine Spy, but you can see not very many on the marketplace, and starting at 74 cents on up is a little bit high. If you can be a little bit patient, there's times you can pick that card up for 10 to 20 cents. So fantastic card, but definitely don't pay 74 cents a piece for it. Your rares start at 5 cents for the low-end rares, up to 49 cents for the Princess. Let's take a look at the Archons. 14 cents for Wizard of Eastwood, 15 cents for Drake of Arnak, 18 for Mother Kala, 21 for Pyre, 23 for Contessa, and 26 cents for Bortus. This, I believe, last time we looked was 45 or 47. So this one has come down a bit. So if you're looking for this summoner, it's a good price. Your epics start at 22 cents for Pyromancer, up to Lobstradamus at 72 cents. And then finally your legendaries, 111 for Gloridax, up to, it is Kitty, of course, but only at $45. So we went through these prices in part one. As you can see here, some of the other legendary summoners, $9 for Chancius, $10 for Mimosa, $11.20 for Lear Deep Swimmer. Those are your legendary cards. Okay, next your gold foil commons. Starting at just under 60 cents for the low-end gold commons, up to $14.70 for Feasting Seaweed. So how many BCX is that? That is for a single copy. As you can see, do not pay that for a single copy. Combined copy, you're looking at about 63 cents a card, and that's about right. So that should be one of the low-end common cards, should not be the most expensive. You know, you look at Failed Summoners for even Serpentine Spy, I think if you can get him under $1, that's a fantastic buy. So if you guys are playing in Wild, yeah, a card like the Spy for under $1, yeah, that's definitely a must-have card. Rares, gold foil starting at just under $2.50 for Captain's Ghost, up to $9 for Kelp Initiate. And then your Archons are sitting at $2.72, up to $6 for Drake of Arnak. Your epic cards start at just under 14. Goblin Fire Mage at $13.94. Lobstradamus at $13.99. Up to the Chief is sitting at $234. And then finally your gold legendaries, $89 for Robo Dragon Knight. Another key card, $3.99 for Kron. Jotun $7.75. Kitty at $900. Spirit Droog at $1,100. And Scarred Llama Mage at $1,750. Okay, let's look at the promos. So your two promo cards, Halfling Alchemist, like I said in part 1, under $1 at 94 cents. Chain Golem at $13.01. Chain Golem Gold Foil still $125. Gold Foil Halfling at $210, and then Mighty Draken Legendary at $777. Moving on to dice. Another small set. So dice, commons, 1 to 5 cents. The rares, these are all summoners, anywhere from 12 cents for Vera and Quid, up to 95 cents for Mylor. Your epic cards, only 3 in the set, anywhere from 24 cents to $1.76 for the Grenadier. And then finally your legendary cards. So the two cards I like to look at are Krallis and Epona. This has come down since earlier today. When I was looking at part 1, I believe Krallis was sitting at $10. So if you can get Krallis at $9, that's pretty good. I've seen this card in the 20s. This card has bounced all over the place. You know, it's 9 now. I've seen it 20, 25. Same thing with Epona. I've seen Epona at like 30 to 40. So these are very low prices for both of these cards. So if you don't have these in your collection and been wanting to pick them up, not saying they're not going to go lower, but this is a very good price point for both of those cards. And then your gold foils, commons, 58 cents up to 73. There we go. Your rares, 275, 545 for Lornshine, I think is a good price. Even Ouster, $6. Bright and Bloom at 9, and Mylor just over 11. Your 2 out of the 3 epics are here, $17.26 for the Mistress and $20 for Grenadier. And then finally your legendaries, only 3 gold foil legendaries here, $350 for Krallis. Okay, so that's it for dice. Let's move on to Chaos Legion. Looking at your core and reward cards. So like I said in part 1, high-end card went up to 11 cents. Earlier today it was Scavo Hireling, and just in the time of recording he has come back down to 5 cents. But we have a new top common card. Supply Runner is sitting at 7 cents per card. Okay, and then your rare cards. Of course, they'll start out at right around burn 2 cents for the rares. And then your top cards are currently your summoners, of course, but still 11 to 12 cents for the summoners and 25 cents for Kelia. Your regular foil epics, you're looking at right around 10 cents for the floor. Still plenty of these available, up to 28 cents for Magi of Chaos. And your legendary cards, so tons of Chaos Legion out there, but still legendaries holding above 50 cents. So your top end legendary cards. This week, most expensive is Lily Shieldpaw at just under $5, Possibilis at $267, Quix at $252, Immortalis $245, Yasik at $233, Astral Entity $1.96, and Grandmaster Wraith at $1.82. Okay, your gold foils. So your gold foil commons, back down to a normal range where they have been for months, you know, right around 15, 16 cents a piece. Up to, okay, it's not Scavo Hireling's most expensive, it's actually Blinding Reflector sitting at 58 cents. And once again, since we're looking also for land, of course a lot of people, myself included, love getting max level gold foil cards for land. So let's see how many are available. Okay, so if you're looking to pick up some land workers, Pellicor Deceiver for Death, sitting at $5.90. Gargoyle Lion is a neutral, so I'm not sure if a lot of people want a neutral card, also at $5.90. Another death card for $6.40. Pellicor Conjurer is a popular card, $6.69. So it looks like there's a good variety of cards. You can get max level for $7 or less, actually right around $8 or less. You can get pretty much all the splinters if you're looking to go for gold foil commons for your land. Let's do the same for the rares. So your rares are up to above 70 cents per gold rare. Most expensive being probably the Summoners. Yep, well, Zenith Archer is actually at $1.95. Kalia's at $1.73. How many max level copies do we have available? A few, just a handful. You know, a couple of these, there's only 2, 5, 6. And it looks like anywhere from $16 for Gargoyle Devil, but this is a neutral. So not counting the neutral, you're looking at $17 up to probably $20. So $17 to $20 is your range for picking up some of these cards. Okay, moving on to the epics. So your epics are $4 up to, I believe, unless it changed, 10. Yep, so $4 to $10 for gold foil epics from Chaos Legion. Seems like they've been in that range for quite a while. So your max copy, since you need 10 of each to max one out, you're looking at anywhere from $40 up to $100. This is for a single copy. The $62 is also, there's only one. You can see here, max level gold epics. You've got single copies of almost all of these, except for 2 Jin Chihuahuas and 2 Revealers. So very hard to buy just directly max level copies, but like I said, that's why I like just picking up one at a time when I can. You know, just get one for $4 or $5 and do that once a week or whatever your budget allows. And then finally for the gold foil legendaries, still holding close to $25 floor, up to $100 for Yasik single copy. So let's look and see how many gold foil legendary max level cards there are. 2, 2, and then single copies of almost all of these. So not very many at all gold foil max level cards. Surprisingly, the ones that they're the most of are these summoners. 4 maxed Immortalis starting at 140, 3 Possibilis starting at 140, 3 Grandmaster Wraith starting at 137.50. Most of the other ones are all 1 or 2 copies. Okay, so that's it for Corn Reward. Let's look at the promo cards. So these are all your promo cards. We went through all these prices in part 1, so I won't go through them again. Just kind of show you guys how many cards are in circulation and then how many are currently available on the market. And then for the gold foil versions as well, you can see there's no gold foil Assure on the marketplace. You can see the print run and the number available here. Alright, so let's look at the newest set of Soulbound rewards. Let's look at just the regular foil commons, 7 to 28 cents. The rares, 28 cents up to 79 cents for the Mark's Rat. Summoners looks like they're still holding. That one's 45 cents, so you know, most of them 50, 60 cents still. Your epics, $1.25 to $2.81. Decent amount of all these on the market. And then finally your legendary cards, 11 of the 12 cards are represented on the market. Kulu starting at $5.88 up to $15.77 for Avis. In your gold foil versions, commons $1.60 to $13.86. Your rares $7.20 to $20. Your epics $15 up to $75. And then finally your legendary cards, only 7 of the 12 are represented because they were so expensive to unbind and place for sale. You can see here anywhere from $90 up to $289 for Iziar. Okay, so we've gone through those. Let's go through now to Rift Watchers. So your Riftwatcher cards, 1 to 5 cents for your commons. Your rares, 3 cents to $1.20 for Queen of Crows. Yes, and this is for a single card. So surprisingly, this card has normally been, what, 20 to 25 cents? A lot of copies available, but, you know, $1.20 per copy. So definitely do not pay that, especially when you can get a higher level copy, you know, for 11 cents per card. You know, you start getting closer to max level. You can get a max level for around $15 or, you know, just 12 or 13 cents a card. Okay, moving to the epics. So the ones that have really come down in price, you know, Aquatis and Dallin have always been like the cheapest two, but Ilthane had been what? Anywhere from $1.50 to $3, $4. Now it's down to 57 cents. So if you don't have Ilthane, you know, decent card and very good price there at under 60 cents a copy. Then your legendary cards, quite a mix-up here in order. You know, usually Runemancer has been the cheapest card along with Mortius. These are kind of like the bottom two. Look where they are now on the list, especially Mortius being at $8.73. Of course, that is for a multiple copy. That's why. So there is an individual copy trying to be sold for $42. Definitely do that. But you can see here, per card should be right around $2 or less. And then the most expensive, Inevitable, the reason it's $2.50 is these are only max level copies. And you can see per card, $22 to $25. That's about right per card for this one. So no individual copies on the market. Okay, let's look now at the gold foils. So your gold commons, 15 cents to $1. Your gold rares, 77 cents up to 208 for Queen of Crows. And then your epics, which are your summoners, $4.39 for Aquatis, up to $9 for Ilthane. And then finally your legendaries, only 9 of the 12 have gold foils on the market. So not very many of these on the marketplace. Look at the circulation numbers. A lot of these are in the low 100s. The first ones that came out, of course, are higher, but still only in the mid 200s. So not very many of these on the market or in circulation. Highest is just under $200 for C-Rec, and actually Inevitable, that's pretty low, under 100. I think normally I see this between 140 and 160. Okay, moving on to the last couple sets. So Rebellion. Let's look at just core Rebellion cards. Regular foil commons, how are they doing? So low end is down to 3 cents for a common. But your high-end cards, your summoners, are still holding above 50 cents, anywhere from 51 cents for Dolfar up to 65 cents for Chull. Your rare cards start at 6 cents for the Demon, and then 10 cents for the Spore Beast. And then once you get to your summoners and some of the high-end rares, you're looking at 60 cents up to $1.64 for Avena, $1.40 for Moxian Rebel. Your epic cards range from 46 cents up to just under $2 for Satha Toledo and $2 for Captain Fellblade. And then your legendary cards, $2.45 for Zabajin. We went through the prices of some of the key cards in part 1. I want you guys just to have a chance to look at how many are in circulation. So you're looking at 11 to 1200 of most of these cards in existence, and a decent amount on the marketplace for legendaries. And Tofu is sitting at $70. And then looking at gold foil versions, so your commons start at right around 70 cents for gold foil common from Rebellion. But once you get to the summoners, months ago when they were $4, $5, $6, I was telling guys, I'm like, pick them up. They're not going to stay at $4, $5, $6, and now you're looking at basically $10 to $13 for a single copy of a gold common dual summoner. Your rares start at $1.75, $1.80. Up to some of the key cards, now you start getting $5 plus. Get to the summoners, you're looking at $8, $9, up to $10 for Avena. Moxian Rebel is sitting at $14. Your epics, Just under $5 for Redworm Hatchling, up to $24.77 for Palace. And then your gold legendaries starting at $43.20, up to the most expensive is Rage at $4.50. Let's take a look at that, and that is for a single copy. So this is the only copy on the marketplace. It's a single card, $450. Usually reserved for tofu. 5 tofus on the market. You can see all single copies. $275 for 2 of them, then it jumps to $387, $388, and then $415. Alright, so Rebellion. Let's look next at the reward cards. Regular foil. So your commons are 8 to 12 cents. Your rares sitting at 41 cents up to 55 cents for Commander Slade. Decent amount of these have been unlocked and on the market. Epics 205 to 249. Once again, for being an epic card, there are a decent amount on the marketplace. And then finally your legendary Emberguard at 720. I think that's under burn. Up to 1220 for Warborn Chieftain. And then your gold versions. Common starting at 215 up to 1249 for Chaos Evoker. Your rares, $9.99 for the Nomad, up to, can you believe this, $79.80? Is this a max level card? No, it's a single BCX, $80. So people are just kind of seeing if anyone will pay that price. Definitely don't pay that price for a gold rare. Moving on to epics, 5 of the 7 are represented here. $46 for the Conjurer, up to $75 for Olivia the Brook. And then no gold foil legendaries. Alright, let's look at the promos. There's a lot of promos to look at. Went through all the promos in part 1, the regular foil and gold foil, so won't go through that here. Just want to give you guys once again the visual record so you can see how many are in circulation, how many are in the marketplace for each of these cards. So we'll just kind of slowly scroll through here. So these are all the regular foil versions. And then for the gold foil, you can see here a lot fewer, a lot of the gold legendaries. There are none on the market. And even a copy like Eleanor, look at this, only 32. Delia, only 28 gold foils. Okay, so there are your promos from Rebellion. So let's wrap this up with Conclave Arcana, starting with the core set, regular foil. So your commons right now are going, in a close range, anywhere from, 5 to 10 cents? Oh, this one has jumped up to 15. Cavewise Wayfinder, so a lot of people, very, very popular card for commons. That one's up to 15 cents. Your rares, which everyone is always trying to get the Archons. Low-end cards, 21, 22, 23 cents. But there are a decent amount of cards, in the 40 to 50 cent range. So even if you don't pull an Archon out of a dollar pack, if you're lucky enough to get one of these, you're pretty close to break even. The Archons you can see range from $1.46 up to $2 for Bella. A lot on the marketplace, but yeah, these prices are just not coming down for the Archons. Your epics, 74 cents up to $1.48 for Lucky Longshot. And your legendaries, $5.14 for Craniax the Quick, up to $15.94 for Shengzhou Dragon Summoner. And then your gold foil Conclave Arcana, commons 84-89 cents at the low end, up to $1.67 for Vicious Giraffe. So very affordable to pick up at least one of each gold common. You get into the rares, they start getting more pricey. They're at least $3 a piece. And then when you move on to the Archons, they're just holding above 12. So $12.25 is the cheapest, up to $16.59 for the Dwarf Summoner Archon. So, right around 14-15 bucks. These things are not coming down. Then your epics, Cheaper to get an epic than it is to get a rare. So $9.50 for the elemental. Up to $17.21 for Warwall Juggernaut. And then finally your legendaries range anywhere from $55-$60 to the low end, up to $158 for Jakaria the Rhyme. Alright, so now let's look at the black foils. So your black foil commons, cheapest is $118, and like I mentioned, part one, you can see here we're up to 100. So we're up to 99 or 100 of each of these cards. $300 for Conclave Tracker. Your rares, you're in the 30 print run. They go from 315 up to 3,000 for the summoner. So you can see there's 4 of the summoners represented here. So you're looking at $900 plus if you're lucky enough to get a black foil summoner or Archon. Your epics. Now your epics, you're in the 19 to 20 print run. So this is the first 20. So the rest of these will come out. 640 to 1500. And then finally your legendaries. Once again, you're looking at number 6 and 7. So the next, well, you can tell right from here, the next legendary black foil that will be pulled will be Desolation, because all the other ones are at print run 7. This one is at print run 6. So the next person that's lucky enough to get a legendary will get this card, Desolation. Okay, so that's the black foil. So now let's go to the gold arcane. So these are the commons that are currently listed, 250 to 1200. These are not pulled one at a time. As you can see, there's been 6 of these pulled, 4 of each of these, 7 of these, but only 2 of the excavator. So these are completely random. The rares, only 3 on the market. This is the only one, Canary Keeper. So this is the only one in existence currently, and this is the only one on the marketplace. Your epics, this is the only one. I believe this is Dwayne's card. You can see it's a 1 of 1 currently. He has it listed for 4,000. And then no legendaries currently for gold variant. Okay, let's look at the black arcane. Actually, these are all of them. So you can see the commons here. There's only 1, 2 in existence as of now. Deep Delver, there's only 1, and it's on the market for $21.75. The Auroral Elemental is the only one on the market, the only one in existence, $10,000. And then Cavor, the Dragon Archon, for $100,000. That is the only one on the marketplace. And the promo cards. So Arcane Skinwalker. Let's look at that one individually. You can see the different versions here. Regular foil, 97 cents. The gold foil, $9.71. The black foil, $500. The black foil, or the gold arcane, $654.99. And then there's only 10 in existence, 2 on the market, over $2,000 for the black arcane. The newest card coming out, I need to put this in part 1. I have to go back and write this one down. The new voucher card, Tashoshi. Regular foils going for $3.99, gold foil $42, and the black foil for $14.74. There's only 5. And then your legendary cards. So you've got Grimel the Hunger, regular foil $17.80, gold $145.39, black foil $27.99, and then Archmage Yabanus $250 for the regular foil, $5,000 for the gold foil. There's only 4 of those in circulation. And is that it? I believe it is. So tons of cards to look at, guys. Some crazy prices on some of these super limited cards. So absolutely awesome artwork. Absolutely beautiful cards. So the team has done a fantastic job on all of these. Can't wait to see what the next set brings, but that is far in the future. So time to enjoy these cards now. Continue chasing them. Continue to, every once in a while I'll get a pack here and there and open one up and see if I can get one of these ultra rare cards. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found this useful. And as always, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care.